I knew it. Look, it's me, Captain Visor H. We live action. You already know what it is. I'm here to bring you yet another Bleach chapter review this week. Now, this is Bleach chapter 582 titled The Headless Star. Now we see it continues off from where Ichigo is talking to Kenpachi, and Kenpachi's like, I never thought you'd be the one to save me. Then Ichigo asks him, can he stand? Kenpachi tells him, you need to worry about yourself. And we see Candace Catnip, Star Knight T, she comes and try to hit Ichigo, the jolt of electricity, and we see, just like that, Ichigo grabs her arm, throws her into a structure in the background, and then he gets attacked by the rest of the girls. You see he's dodging the blows, and we see the big ass mouth from Star Knight G tries to bite him, and it gets Ichigo's attire that he's wearing, just rips it off, and then he just knocks all of them into structures. Then they bust out, and Star Knight Z, she was saying like, damn, like who is this? And then that's when Star Knight P goes on to say, we let our guard down. And Star Knight G said, no, this is Ichigo Kurosaki. I'll be disappointed if he wasn't able to do this. Then the other two girls, they were shocked, thinking like, oh, so this is Ichigo, because we see those two heard of him, but they never seen him, and you would think during their meetings or whatnot, they'd get a brief description, of Ichigo. But anyway, they realize like, damn, he's number one on the not Star Knight list, I'm sorry, the War Potential list. And then we see Candace, she busts out the rubble with just a jolt of lightning. She's pissed off. I mean, pissed off because she was covered in dust and her hair was messed up, and it takes her hours to get her, get her hair ready, And I do like the reaction of the other girls. They're looking at her like, you pissed off about this. So we see Candace, she hits that heart-shaped canister that's, on her belt on her side, and we see a heart pop up. She grabs it, and there's a bow, and she pulls it back, the spirit energy, the spirit string, and let loose, and she calls it what does she call that? Galvano blast? I believe so, Galvano blast or Galviano blast. But anyway, when she hit Ichigo with that, you see the big explosion, and then she says, turn into ashes with 5 gigajoules of electricity, and that's when Star Knight G said, you don't expect him, Ichigo Kurosaki, to die even from 1 or 2 of those from your holy arrow. And at that point, I know where Ichigo, he's like, oh man, everyone's so lively. I thought it'd be a problem to fight girls, but I see it's not an issue at all. And we see the full page of Ichigo's whole new attire because he got blasted off from her arrows. And we see the whole new look about him. I'm gonna get into that in the discussion. And at that point, that's when they're all just pissed off already. They all call out their bows. They all go to attack Ichigo. He takes out his dual Zapato. They rush him. And we see the slashes. I'm gonna talk about the slashes. And we see the cross slashes, and it goes on to Juha. Yes, Juha, he senses Ichigo, and he gathers Hashwoth and Uryu to head over to him. And then at that point, we see Askin Naklavar. He's hiding, peeking up, and he says, oh, I see your majesty, he's ready to start this. And he's thinking to himself, will he be able to make a choice or not? And then it says to be continued. So, overall, I'm going to start off by saying, these 4 girls, they have some big balls to try to take on Ichigo like this. Now we see Candace, which this chapter confirms, alright? Out of these 4, Candace is my least favorite. I care nothing for Candace. I mean, it's good that they all have their different personalities. It brings, livelihood to the scenes when they're all together, alright? But her having a reason to really strike Ichigo and get pissed off because her hair got messed up, I'm glad not all of them are like that. But we see Candace, man, I hope she is the first one to get taken out. But I love the way Ichigo was doing these girls. I mean, I knew it. The way he would just toss them and flinging them. And I honestly think if Star Knight G, if that mouth would have connected to Ichigo, I don't think it'd have killed him. That's just, in my opinion, I don't think it'd have killed him. But finally, we see, it's been a long time since we see a Quincy use an arrow. For a long time, people were thinking like, man, these new Quincy's, these Star Knights, they must not really believe in, using arrows. But we see now, they are Quincy's, and they do have access to their bow and arrows. I mean, they just choose to use the other abilities. Hell, I would too. I mean, that bow and arrow, that's their signature ability. I mean, all Quincy's can do it, basically. So they're like, you know what, these other unique abilities, or these Reishi Spirit bow and arrows, But we see, it seemed like with her, this Galvano blast, the holy arrow, I don't know if that's only, what's the word I'm looking for, exclusive to her. I mean, we see the other ones pulled out the heart-shaped bow and arrows, but where they all say Galvano blast. I mean, we see when she shot it, it did look like a form of jolt electricity, but like I said, we'll see how it goes, next chapter when they keep spamming their arrows shooting at Ichigo. And the thing is, did she catch Ichigo off guard with that? Or maybe Ichigo just stood there knowing it wasn't going to take any damage? Because that's what I like. Because if you know you're stronger than your opponent, what's the point of really dodging? If you know their attack can't damage you, yet alone kill you, you can just stand there and bam, take the hit, take the blast. Now, with all four of them, now we see her, she claimed, Candace, she claimed 5 gigajoules of electricity, all right? Now, with the other 3, combined, that's 20, so who knows? But Ichigo's new look, man, I like it. There are a few people who don't like it, but I like it. I like the shoulder armor. I like how it retains the X design, the captain's robe that's tied around the waist, that's hanging from the bottom. If you notice, he has some longer black stripes going up the side. I do like that. If you notice on his hand, he doesn't have those marks he has anymore, or the 2 pieces around his neck. But that X, I like how it also doubles as a support holsters for his Zanpakuto. And like I said in my last chapter review, I knew that look he had on before he got blasted off, I knew that wasn't his official look. I knew it. I said it. Some people actually thought and were complaining about his new look. But I'm like, look, that's just his transportation, look, his attire. I knew that I was going to get blasted off. But yeah, I finally found that picture in color. Yeah, that's going to be my new desktop picture on my phone. But this is the thing. Asking Naklevar, this guy, I like where this is going. I really like where this is going. I'm going to tell you why. When Ichigo first showed up, I said in my last chapter review, what's going to happen now? Is Ichigo just going to start, after he gets done with these girls, he's going to go to the next Star Night, take him out next one like that. Now that Ichigo is here, it made it seem like and feel like that the war has really shifted into Soul Reaper's side. Now people are going to be like, man, the story is coming closer to an end. Ichigo is here. It's about to be over. But we see, excuse me, now there's an extra twist in that, and I love it. I love those unexpected twists because we'd have never guessed that from asking Naklevar. There were never even no signs of foreshadowing regarding him making the choice or not. Now, when I first read that part, I did wonder if that was Uryu thinking that some stuff, saying that. But then I'm like, well, why would Kubo show asking Naklevar out of all the Star Knights? Why don't you just show him looking up, saying what he said, and then thought to himself, well, I'll be able to make a choice. But I really do like that because now it's going to bring a big twist into this. Because when Juhai makes his way to Ichigo with Hashwolf and Uryu, that scene right there is going to put Ichigo in a hell of a predicament. Number one, he's going to look at Juhai. Okay, like, yeah, I'm stronger now. This ain't going to be like last time. I know the truth. Let's do this. Then you're going to look at Hashwolf. Yeah, motivate. I'm ready for you. Try to, slice my Zanpakuto in half again. Then you're going to see Uryu like, damn, what are you doing here? So his mind is going to be focused on three different areas. I don't expect him to be, depressed and mind fucked again because we see this is a powerful, more confident Ichigo now. And back to this asking Naklevar thing. The reason why, like I said, I like this a lot. We have 26 Star Knights, way bigger than the whole Espada unit. That was only 10 people versus this 26. The Espada, a lot of them were very, how can I put this? Actually, none of them ever thought of betraying Aizen, really. A lot of them were afraid of Aizen, more so loyal. Some didn't like Aizen, but they just knew, like, damn, I can't beat this guy. Well, if you can't beat him, join him. Well, he gave me more power, forget it. And we have Ukliura and Zamari, the ones like that. They were really, very loyal to Aizen, and yes, sir-ish, But these Star Knights, out of these 26, it does make you wonder if all of them have the same agenda. What I mean by agenda, just serving under their majesty, Juhai, and just helping with the war. We don't know all their secret side morals or agendas or everything. We don't even know their backstories. Do all these Quincy's really even care about getting revenge on the Shinigami? Things like that. So the choice he's making, I don't know if it's to betray Juhai or the Quincy's or to do something else, but it's something going on. Now I can't wait for that. But I still ain't forget about them 2 hanging bodies. Remember that? Kubo said in the interview it's going to play a major important role in this arc, but you never know. That could be later on this year. Hell, it could be next year. But overall, this chapter, it gave A lot of action from the start. It felt short, but that's because they had a lot of action. I'm loving Ichigo's new look. I'm glad the girls, you know, got tossed around. It's good to see the Quincy's use arrows again, you know, bow and arrows. Left off at a very good cliffhanger. What's going to happen next? I don't know. Maybe it will cut back to Shinji and Baspi. Maybe it'll cut back to Ichigo, you know, putting work on with these girls, and then they're pushed to go into their final holy form, and then who never knows? The Ichigo probably still live. I hope they all get taken out, but with this new look Ichigo has, it makes you think about his Bunkai. It really makes you think about his Bunkai, man. I just love it, man. This whole chapter, to me, it was pretty good. But one last thing before I go, y'all. The slashes. Do I think that was a Getsuga Tensho? I don't think it was a Getsuga Tensho. I just think it was slashes. Do I want it to be a Getsuga Tensho? No. Do I want it to be a new form of a Getsuga Tensho? I wouldn't be surprised if it is a new form of Getsuga Tensho, like a dual one or a swirling, spinning one, but I wish it was a whole new move instead of a new, you know, form of an existing technique that he's had for years, all right? So that's my whole thing about it, Lisa. Give me your thoughts, comments, and concerns. Do you think Asuka Nakavar is a traitor? Do you think that's a Getsuga Tensho? And do you like Ichigo's new look? Give me your thoughts, comments, and concerns. See you all next week. Signing out.